Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the podcast. Of course, before we get started, we got to show some love to our sponsors. So, of course, this episode is brought to you by my boy Dan over at Mile High Mutations. Awesome guy, man. Creating amazing stuff. I love his logo. And not just that, I love the snakes that he's producing, man. So, shout out to my guy over there at Mile High Mutations, man. Go give him some love. Check out his Instagram. Check out his Morph Market. Mile High Mutations. Y'all doing amazing stuff, baby. I see y'all. Shout out to Morphed Ambitions, man. Great guy. Producing some quality snakes. That's what this is about, man. I want to put the spotlight on people producing amazing stuff that I feel like they don't get enough spotlight. So shout out to my guy Eugene over at Morphed Ambitions, man. He produces great snakes, and not just that, he sells cypress mulch. So shout out to Morphed Ambitions, man. Go get you some mulch. Go get you some snakes. Give them some love, man. Shout out to my guy, man. Large Marge Morse, man. Big supporter of the channel, man. Like, look at this logo. It's freaking awesome. It's a man. He looks like Medusa, man. Super dope logo from a super dope guy. Shout out to my guy over at Large Marge Morse, man. Love you, brother. Man, MKL Exotics. What can I say about my brother Mike out in Canada, man? Shout out to MKL Exotics, man. Channel sponsor, man, just producing amazing snakes. Of course, you already know if you watch the channel, he produces hog nose snakes. I thought about getting one just so I could say I own a venomous snake. Man, this guy right here. Let's take a second right here to talk about this guy. Shout out to Frost Critters, man. Big supporter of the channel. He sponsors my podcast. And he's not even in the United States. Like, how insane is that, man? So, shout out to Frost Critters. Y'all check out his YouTube. He's wanting to hit 1,000 subscribers. Y'all go check out his Instagram. Give him some love and tell him Derek's Reptiles sent you. Mad River Serpents and Rattery, man. Y'all doing amazing stuff, producing amazing snakes. Channel sponsor, and they are going places, man. Shout out to you already know Pythons, man. Marino, man, doing incredible stuff, man. Anybody will tell you I love the Exantic Morph, man. He's producing amazing snakes. So go check out his Instagram, go check out his Morph Market, and tell him Derek sent you. Shout out to Matt Yates, Reptile Company, man. Just a great guy. He supports the channel. Thank you for being a channel sponsor. Produces quality snakes. So go check out his Instagram, go check out his Morph Market. Ball and hand pythons, man. Like, I feel like this guy's under the radar and he needs more attention. Producing great snakes. Go check out his Instagram and Morph Market and give him some love. Tell him Derek sent you. Now, I'm excited about this one here, man. This is why we here. KingsReptiles2021. They produce boas and ball pythons, a husband and wife, power couple. And they got their kids doing it. So definitely give them some love. That's why we're here tonight. This is I like to call a section that I call the sponsor spotlight. Let's give them some spotlight, see what they're doing, man. And last but not least, Michaela's Farms. You are an honorary channel sponsor, and I appreciate you for just giving me that time of day. Now, while y'all are here, this is going to be, again, like I said, this is a sponsor spotlight. And when we come back, we'll have the guest of the show. So don't go nowhere, okay?
Whoa. Big reptile talk. Yeah, we working. Talking about service. Big reptile talk. When it comes to talking about snakes, yeah, love that we got for them effect. Yeah, big reptile talk. Let's talk about reptiles. Yeah, big reptile talk. Let's talk about reptiles.
Yo, welcome to the podcast. This is Big Reptile Talk. And of course, this is a sponsor spotlight. We got Kings Reptiles in the building. How y'all doing today?
We're doing good.
Good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm glad that y'all are here. Before we start, let's give some love to the early birds. Lafitte ASMR in the building. Shout out to Boas Balls. Iron Dog, man, we see you. We got a super chat from my animal house. My animal house. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that, brother. We got Michaela's Farm in the building. Frost Critters in the building. We got Texoma Exotics in the building. We got Kingdom's Pythons in the building. So many people showing up. So I just want to say thank y'all. Boas Balls, man. If I forgot anybody, thank you guys for showing up. Fungus Queen in the building. Everybody's in the building, man. Thank you guys for showing up. Now, I wanted to bring you guys on here, man, because like I said, I'm a fan. Y'all are doing incredible stuff. So tell the people a little bit about yourselves. Like, how long have you guys been breeding reptiles?
This is actually going into our second season. Last year, 2022, was our first actual production of animals.
Okay.
We started in 2021, getting the collection together, and basically, I took a few of his pet snakes and realized they came in this color and that color, and kind of took it to the next level very quickly.
Okay. So a couple years breeding. What made you want to even start breeding? You know, why snakes? What made you say, you know what, we want to breed reptiles?
Well, I've always had snakes. I grew up on 650 acres out in Cooper City. It was a milking farm. So I would go catch snakes under wood and stuff and take them to the local pet shops and get $10, $15, you know. And so I've always been into them. But when I really got into them, I went for the big snakes. I had Burmese, big berms and stuff. But my life really started, you know, at 50 when I had my first child. And I didn't want the big berms and stuff, so all that went away. And we got back into pet snakes because we didn't want him to be scared of snakes like a lot of people are. You know, you show them a snake and they run. I didn't want my son like that. So we got a few pets and this and that. And then it just kept coming.
When we had the berms too, we actually bred bearded dragons. So we had a little bit of breeding experience doing the dragons, and we tried to do the berms at the same time, but they didn't get a chance to cool being in the same room. So we really didn't have luck. We sold them and ran into the gentleman at the next reptile show, and she laid 50 eggs.
Wow. 50 eggs from one bearded dragon.
No, the Burmese.
The berms.
From the Burmese.
Yes.
Oh,
right.
But I love that. But I want to rewind, man, because what you just said, like, I can't even imagine that. You said you were 15 years old catching snakes and taking them to the reptile store for $10 and $15.
Yes.
How incredible is that?
Yeah, I mean, I always found a way to make money. I really did. You know, I was a hard worker. I collect cans on the side of the road, pop bottles, and again, we lived on 650 acres of dairy land, so our yards wasn't the best looking. I can tell you that.
Right. Now see, nowadays we can't do that. We can't catch some snakes and go into PetSmart. They look at you like you were nuts.
Exactly. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Now I love it. Now, so who introduced who to breeding? Like, were you breeding first? Because you said you were doing it when you were 10 to 15, Greg. Did you introduce Miss King to reptiles, or did y'all already y'all were just already doing it together?
Well, you know, I've known Jen a long time. Me and her sister was in 9th grade together. And she actually worked at Beverly's Pet Center, which is a local pet shop in Hollywood, Florida. So she was kind of into it anyway. But she would bring macaws home and stuff like that. And, you know, so it wasn't nothing she was scared to do. You know what I mean?
I kind of did the bearded dragons first, and he was more the snake side. But then,
right.
You know, once we got the pets, once our son turned 7, 8, and basically I realized how beautiful they were and how many different options you could get. And it's crazy how addictive it was, you know. And then I was like wanting to go back to breeding again. And it's like Christmas morning, cutting open that egg and seeing what you got. It's
right.
An unbelievable feeling.
I love that. So see, I don't know if my wife is watching, but you got a good wife. See, my wife, she really didn't
I tell him that all the time.
Let me tell you this. She hunts and fishes and baits her on hooks too.
Watch that. And I love that. I'm going to tell you how I got into reptiles. My wife, she really wasn't an animal person. She likes dogs and cats, the typical animal or whatever. So, we got ended up getting together. She was my girlfriend for a while. We moved in together or whatever. So once we moved in together, I started. I made a man cave. I was like, all right, can't have everything in the front room. Got to make a little man cave. So I'm making a man cave. I get it all together, and I said, you know what, babe, my man cave is complete, but I need something in there. I want an animal. And I told her, I said, I'm gonna get a tarantula. She said, oh no. She said, no spiders. But see, I told her, I said, I want a spider or a snake. And she's the one that pushed me into reptiles because she said, I can't do a spider, but I could probably tolerate a snake. So she kind of pushed me into it. Y'all said y'all have spiders too?
I did have tarantula back when I did live on the dairy, but my biggest fear of that was the big palmetto bugs that I could get for free to feed them. I to this day, I don't like them flying things. So
right.
I would have someone put them in a jar for me to feed the tarantula.
Right. Shout out to Live Feed ASMR. You know what I've been thinking about getting into? And I don't know why. I seen it on his channel. Venus flytraps.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I've been wondering. Well, anyways, I want to, we're talking about reptiles. I like to learn about people and have a little fun. So I want to give you a hot seat question. And this is for both of you. Hot seat question. Y'all are reptile breeders. Currently, right now, who is Mr. Greg and Miss Jennifer's favorite breeder right now? Anybody in the hobby?
I'm going to have to go for a big name and say Mutation Creation, Billy.
Oh, okay. I love Billy.
I'm pretty much a sponge right now, and I'm just trying to learn as much as I can. And he's one of the top people that I've watched videos, and watched the stream today and on the Husbandry Pro program, which I absolutely love. And if you have more than 10 animals, you should get it because it's fantastic.
I agree. Billy is a good guy. He's been on the podcast twice. Definitely need to get him back on. So she loves Billy. Who's your favorite breeder, Mr. Greg?
Well, I hate to be a copycat, but he's always on our computer when I walk up to it and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to say Billy. I mean, he's wore our shirts and we've got some laughs from him. So yeah, that's probably where I'm going to head to.
I did see that. I seen on his Instagram he had one of y'all shirts and he was pointing like this.
Yeah.
So, yes. I did see that. Shout out to Billy, man. Great guy.
I had to rib him a little bit, and I put a post up on Instagram that, we basically died and turned into a skeleton waiting for him to wear the shirts because they get gazillions of them. So he made sure we knew he wore it, which we really appreciate it.
I love that. One thing that I can say that I like about Billy, a lot of these, content creators or bigger reptile breeders, they busy. They get a million questions. But I tell you something, every time I message Billy, he answers. And he don't have to do that. When these bigger breeders, they have 50,000, 100,000, or even Brian Barczyk, 3-4 million subscribers, and they still take time out of their day to respond to us. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all ever reached out to him, but he'll respond to you.
I've messaged on Instagram expecting to get one of the crew, and which is fine. I know he's extremely busy, and he's like, "Hey, Billy here," and I was like, "Cool." It was neat to be able to chat with him.
Right. That's what I like about him. He's very humble, very down to earth, and he responds to inboxes. Hell, I've called the building. He'll answer the phone. What's up? It's Billy, Mutation Creation. I'll be like, oh shit, I love it. Now, you said you've been breeding, and this is your second season, so. Give me, everybody thinks breeding is just, you get the snakes, you breed them, and that's it. I really shouldn't say that. My question to you is, how do you think, your first season went? Were you happy with it? Or did you get what you kind of wanted? How did your first season go?
Well, what made it really successful is we went out and bought an 8-foot albino boa. And that's basically what we bought with no any more genetics in her than that. But it became a surprise when I walked in the room and it was a clutch of babies in the cage at 4:00 in the morning. And they happened to be anery. So that snake made us some pretty good money for a snake that we bought that was gravid and didn't know it. We don't even have the male to it to reproduce that clutch.
So it was kind of a full circle from ending up selling the snake that laid 50 eggs right after we sold her. So we ended up getting a
gravid snake ourselves, and no one knew.
And a very big surprise.
Yeah.
At 4 o'clock in the morning.
I love that.
She had some good babies. You know what I mean? I got some sun glows and some aneries, and it really helped us,
get started,
feed these animals for a while.
So ultimately, you feel like your first season was a success.
I do, yes.
Okay, I love that.
We've done a couple shows and did all right, and we do have followers and people online buying from us. So, yes.
Hey, y'all better pay attention. Did y'all hear that flex? He said we do have followers. People online ball. That's a flex. I like that. See, you flex right quick. We online and people following us. I love that. Now, a lot of people. Let me ask you this question. When you're a new breeder, a lot of people come into the game and they focus on one species. Like, I'm not saying that they still focus on one species, but when they first come into the game, they focus on one species. Like, if you want to breed ball pythons, you come into the game, you're breeding ball pythons. If you want to come into the game and you breeding green street pythons, you're breeding green street pythons. What made y'all want to focus on 2 species? Why did you say, you know what? We want to be known for ball pythons and boas.
Well, I've again, with the berms and stuff, I've had boas too. So I'm the boa guy, and she's actually really good with the genetics on the ball pythons, but I wanted the boas in the house.
But we only have rooms for so many big boas because it's actually our son's former playroom that everything is set up in. So we have about 10 boas.
Okay, ball pythons and boas. Now breeding boas. I just had Da Vinci boa on. Have you ever tried that boa syrup yet?
I haven't yet, but I need to probably get some and definitely give it a shot.
I have some at home. I ain't tried it yet. He sent me a bottle. I'm excited to try. I'm excited to try, but I ain't tried it yet. So anyway, shout out to Da Vinci boa, man. Now, currently, give us an estimation. I see the rack behind you right now. How many snakes do you think you currently have in your collection? Just estimate.
150.
150. Okay, yes. I like that. Now, I want to kind of focus more because my favorite is the ball python. So what are some of your current projects that you're working on right now with your ball pythons?
Well, at first we just bought some stuff to have clutches, stuff that
to learn and get started. And, we went with single gene females, double gene females. This season, we're trying to produce Batmans. Trying to produce one of our ultramel het pied, prove him for het pied. So next year he can go to our ultramel pied female. And we know that the het pied is there. But the future for next year is going to be a lot of pied, exanthic pieds, candinos, candy, dreamsticles, ultramels, pumpkins.
So we have a lot of stuff going. Not only pieds, but I like the pieds too. That's one of my favorite is the pie balls.
And clowns. So pied and clown next year is definitely going to be more of our featured genes.
Pied and clown and exantic pied. I love that. Exantic is my favorite. I love it. My 2 favorite Morse, it's going to sound weird, but I love the exantic and I love the pastel. I love those, but I want to rewind. That's such a big flex, man. So you said you're currently going to be trying to produce some Batmans, and this is just your second season.
Yes.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah,
that's major.
It's already happened. We just got to hit.
Oh, okay. They're breeding this season, so hopefully, we'll hit the odds. They're both het clown, 100% het clown. But if we hit,
I'm still here. I can hear you.
Okay.
Where'd your picture go?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's what she's trying to figure out.
Hold on a second.
Are you on your phone?
No, I'm on the computer. You want me to log out, log back in?
You can use your computer or phone. Either's fine. Just see if you can get your picture back.
Oh, here. There we go.
Oh, there you are. You're good. You're good. You're fine. You're totally fine. Now, I want to have a little fun. You know, I'm glad that you guys are here. Couple hot seat questions. I want to have a little, you know, a little fun, a little laugh. So, you know, you're working on projects, and I know y'all are a team. But Mr. Greg, have you ever wanted a snake and you may have fibbed about the price to your wife? Like you wanted it for a project, and you're like, honey, it's $600, and I really want it, and she ended up finding out it was $1,000.
Let me tell you something. And that's this house, I'm the one saying no. She has spent the money, my friend. She has spent the money. So
we've invested a lot.
Yeah,
we have.
Oh,
I'm the one who sometimes got to go, whoa, whoa, whoa.
So let me flip that question and let me interrupt and flip. I got to interrupt you. Let me flip that question. Miss Jennifer, have you ever wanted a snake for a project and you're like, hey, honey, it's $600. And he looked at the bill. He said, what in the hell? This is $1,000 snake. Did he ever find out you were fibbing a little bit?
Maybe now.
Oh, what snake? What snake was it?
Pick one.
Yeah, pick one.
Okay, so give me an example. Give me an example. I want to laugh.
Could be the let's see, the Orange Dream Yellow Belly Candino het pie that I got from Ozzy Boyd.
Ooh. What'd you say, babe? This is $1,000. It was really $2,000.
A little bit more.
I love it, man. It's all in fun. But you know what?
We're buying hot dogs and bologna this week.
I love it, and that's what it's about. To have fun, and y'all are doing this. Y'all doing it together, and I love that. Now, the next hot seat question I have is, y'all both are reptile enthusiasts, so I want both of you to answer this question. What's the best reptile-related gift you've got each other? What, like he's got you and you've got him, reptile-related?
I'm gonna have to say a snake. We both picked out snakes and say, I want this one next, and then I'll get this one next, and then he'll pick one out. We kind of go back and forth with the snakes that we like.
Okay, so you say so pretty much for you, it's been a snake. So he's like, hey, baby, you want that snake? Let me go get it for you. What about for you, Mr. Greg? What's the best reptile-related product she's ever got you for a gift?
Oh, I think she found this person that was moving to Texas, leaving to go to work in Texas. And she bought like 10 snakes, and this rack behind me, she picked it up for $800. So that was like, wow, and really shocked on that deal that she got for the 10 snakes. And they were breeders. I mean, they never been bred before, but they were there. So we got some good stuff for to help us get along, I tell you, for the money that we spent. Okay.
I love that. Now, I want people to, listen to you guys and get inspired. Y'all are so new doing it. So, I know you were selling snakes for $10 to $15 when you were younger, but take us back to where, you said, you know what, we're going to become snake breeders. We're going to sell snakes. What was it like for both of you when y'all made that first sale? How did it feel seeing your dream become a reality?
It's exciting.
It's pretty awesome, and I really got to give the credit to her because she's been more involved in it than me, as far as genetics and this and that. And
morph market.
I come in here and I clean the cages, man.
You come in and clean the cages, okay. So, seeing that first sale is always amazing. I gotta ask you, a lot of restaurants, when they first open, that first dollar that they get, they keep it and they frame it and put it on the wall. As a company, KingsReptiles, when y'all made that first sale, did y'all at least save like one of the dollars and frame it and put it on the wall?
No, it was Zell.
Man, she already had that money into another snake.
Oh, so you reinvested.
I was already reinvesting.
Yeah, she did quite a bit of that.
I love that. Like how important do you think that is? Since that y'all are so new, to when you actually make some money, not go out and spend it, but to reinvest in your collection? How important do you think that is?
Well, it just let us bring in some of the stuff that we want. I'm going to use the word future breeders, but next year a lot of this stuff's going to be ready to go, and it's the stuff that we paid the money for,
Right. I love that.
It
I love
allows
that
you to
now.
keep going. It allows
Right.
you to prepare for the future and have holdbacks of the quality of animals that you want to produce.
I think that's one of the most important things is when you get into the game, like you said, and I think that's why you guys will be around for a long time, is because, you just didn't make that money and go spend it. You reinvested and bought snakes that your next couple of years you could prove out and make even more money. So it's so good that you did that. Now I want to talk about, the knowledge, like how much, research do you think you had to do before you started breeding?
I was on the computer a lot. I know one of my favorite videos that I found was from Boas and of the breeding cycle. And I actually took a screenshot and printed it, and it's posted in our reptile room. And I just kind of drill it into my head, the time frame. And the Husbandry Pro allows you to go back and say, okay, well, this time last year, this is what I did. And, this is how many times they locked last year and it was successful. Because unfortunately, we haven't yet invested in an ultrasound, and hopefully we will, come soon, maybe this year or next year. But it's all in timing. And to have the videos out there and the knowledge from all the beginning breeders, from Canova to Billy, Mutation Creation, to Boss U, and Garrick DeMeyer, I've watched their videos over and over and over again, and just try to learn as much as you can and put it to good use and listen, to the stuff that they tell you.
Right, I agree. Ashley Barnes, hey, much love. Thank you so much for that super chat. I can't agree with you more. I think that's one of the most important things. When you're a new breeder, research everything. It's so much. Back in the day, you didn't have the the super fast internet or all these breeders that have done it and been there and done it. So like right now, I think that if you want to become a breeder, it's so easy because the information is everywhere. And since we're talking about information, like you said, shout out to Gavin. He was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. When you got into the game and you had questions, do you feel like a lot of the bigger breeders or the breeders that you look up to, were they able to answer a lot of your questions, or were they, were they pretty open with information?
Yeah, they were. And I didn't reach out to everybody, but the few breeders that I did reach out to online were very helpful. We have basically a few breeders locally, Gold Coast Reptiles that have had Craig that has done a lot to get us started and pointed us in the right direction and guided us along the way locally. We were very beneficial to have that. Young Reptile Company, Robert, JD Next Gen, Joe, all of them were like a big group locally, and everybody helps everybody. And it's nice. It's your competition, yes, but it's also your family.
I love that. Reptile people helping reptile people. I love it.
Yes.
Awesome,
sure.
awesome. Like now, you said you've been breeding for a couple years. I want to give you a hot seat question just to have a little fun. A lot of people, they known for Morris. We know JKR made the Batman. We know Ozzy made the Orange Dream. We know Royal Canadian Reptiles is big in the Desert Ghost and all that kind of good stuff. So my question to you is, down the road, what morphs do you want to be known for? Or do you ever think that you'll actually make like a custom morph, like Ozzy?
It would be nice, but I would like to more so be known to have a variety to choose from and just higher quality animals to choose from. Maybe in less genetics, like the pieds, but 6 different kinds of pieds. And then eventually down the road, maybe trying to come up with something new.
For real quick, both of y'all, for shits and giggles, make up a fake morph, and I'll go first. Let y'all give y'all time to think. If I was a ball python breeder and I wanted to come up with a Derek's Reptiles morph, it'll be the pastel banana chocolate sherbet.
Okay.
So real quick, y'all make up a fake morph.
The unbelievable.
Hey, I like that. The unbelievable ball. Oh, that's dope. I'm still in that.
That's better at it than I can do. But I would like to see some ball python like the retic that has the velvet in it, and that's I love the retics. I would own one right now if I could, but I'm not allowed to have it here in South Florida. That's a beautiful snake.
The retics are beautiful, but that's a lot of snake.
You know, I've had them. I've had that stuff, but I would go for the door free tick right now because my son is only 8, so I would stay away from anything too big. I'm not going to put him in any harm's way of anything I do, But he loves the snakes. He will come in here and open the door and grab a ball python like it's nothing. I'm like, what? One of them's going to get you one day.
Right. I love your son. He's super adorable.
Thank you.
And I want to mess around a little bit. Real quick, first, let's talk about retics, man. Like, I watched this video the other day of a retic in heat, and it scared me. I mean, I seen a retic charge a man.
I've had the big berms. They know when you open that cage that there's food somewhere because they come straight out of it. And I mean, I'm talking 16-foot animal that you better be prepared when you open that glass what he's going to do, because I've had him come out to where I had to throw a blanket over him.
Monty was 14 foot.
Huh?
How big was Monty?
Monty was like 13.
13. Yeah. He had a boa or a berm named Monty.
That was like one of my first big retics. Yeah, but they can be aggressive, and you going to play with an animal like that, you better have some common sense.
I love it. Now, since we're talking about kids, I just had my son. He's 2 years old now. Of course, love my son. But I can't wait till he gets older. You know why?
What's that?
She knows exactly what I'm about to say because when I'm not gonna whoop him. I'm not doing no physical punishment. You know what I'm gonna do? He's cleaning snake shit. I'm sick of what you did. Get in the reptile room, clean cages.
We're not even with the 8-year-old, man. All he wants to do is sit on the iPad pad and play roadblocks and stuff.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, when he gets in trouble, I'm tired of it. I seen what you did. Go in there and clean the cages. Matter of fact, you try it. I'm real quick. Let me interrupt you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it once, and then Greg, I want you to try it. I seen what you did. Go in there and clean the cages. Now you do it.
I seen what you did. Now get your butt in there and do your job.
I love it, man. Like I said, having kids, man. Like how so he's not really part of it. He don't really like the snakes. I mean, you say he likes to pull them out a little bit.
He is. I mean,
does he come in there with you?
He comes and goes. He goes to shows with us, and
he'll help me feed the hatchlings. I have a couple of videos up of him feeding the hatchlings. He likes to do that. He's, self-proclaimed going to be a YouTube star, as all kids 8 years old are going to be.
Tell him this YouTube is a grind. It's hard.
I try to explain that, you need to stay in school because it doesn't always happen. It's not as easy as you think it is.
This YouTube is a grind. But anyway, shout out to your kid. What's his name again?
Hunter.
Shout out to Hunter, man. I see him doing big things in the game, man. So, you're selling snakes. You're in your second season. How did you learn? There's so much when it comes to breeding. When it comes to breeding snakes, you got to palpate to see if you even got the eggs and the follicles. You got to know how to cut the eggs. Hey, shout out to LKB Pythons, man. Thanks for that super chat. You got to know how to palpate. You got to know how to cut eggs. How did you learn all this? Do you feel like you were self-taught? Do you feel like you learned off YouTube? How did you learn how to cut eggs, palpate, and do everything that is required when it comes to breeding snakes?
Pretty much YouTube.
That and talking to our local breeders. I mean, we've been hooked up with Gold Coast Reptiles for a long time.
Since we did the dragon.
We used to buy 5,000 crickets from him a week. I mean, it was
5,000.
Yeah. We used to buy a lot of crickets for our bearded dragons. So we've been hooked up with him a long time, and he's just a phone call away.
And that's before the genetics on dragons even are what they are today. I haven't even tried to look because I don't want to get back into too many things. And we have enough with the snakes, but they're amazing,
Right.
All the hybrids and different genetics.
I love that. Take us back to that first time that and tell me how what was going through your mind that first time you actually palpated.
We're still learning how to do it. We're kind of just going off of this breeding schedule and the timing. We're not real good at feeling for eggs, but we've had 6 clutches last year. So we just continue to pair and continue to watch and monitor and, write the pre-lay sheds down and mark the dates. And I think 3 out of the 4 clutches or 3 out of the 6 clutches last year, I basically had to the day that they laid their eggs. And then when it gets close, I like to put a camera in there so we can watch.
I love that. When I go home, I'm going to palpate my wife, feel her up a little bit. I love it. Now, I'm such a fan. Y'all are doing amazing stuff. Shout out to LKB Pythons, man. We see you in the chat, man. Ultimately, when you've been in this 3, 4, 5 years, what do you want your clutch goal to be? Like ultimately, when you've been in like 4 or 5 years, how many clutches are you wanting to have every year?
We only have 1 baby rack, so we can only get so big. We're kind of maxed out on space, so we're going to keep it small and controllable. The biggest thing for us is, unfortunately, besides the time and the space, we cannot breed rodents because I'm highly allergic to the bedding. Even if they come off of it and they just have it on their fur, I'm sneezing. So we do feed a lot of frozen thawed, which helps. But you don't want to get too big where you can't afford to feed them. And, that's why we want to keep it small and keep it under control. And, just shoot for the stuff that we like to make and make nice, healthy animals that people enjoy.
So you feel like it's work with what you love and produce quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, you're selling snakes. This is for both of you. Hot seat question. Celebrity sale. If you could sell any celebrity a snake, who would it be and why? For both of y'all.
I want to say Pink.
Pink?
Because Pink, I think
the
yes,
singer.
Yes, Pink. I think she could handle it, and she'd be one to take care of it. She pops into
I love
my
that.
mind.
I love that.
That's a good
That'd
answer.
be pretty dope. Now you go, Miss King. Who would you sell if you could sell any snake in the world? Who would it be?
I don't know. You stole mine. I'm trying to think who would maybe be. I guess maybe Adam Levine might be a snake person.
I like that. I like that. Adam Levine. That'd be dope. Two amazing people in the entertainment hobby. I love that. Now, man, thank you guys for being here. Like I said, I wanted to do a spotlight on y'all because I think that y'all are going to be killing it in the next year or so. When it comes to the shout out to Cat Eyes, everybody's Cat Eyes in the building. Now, when it comes to, selling the snakes, how do y'all sell y'all snakes? Like, I want you to teach us, like, do you think are you doing morph market, word of mouth? Are you going to moms and pop stores? When you said, you know what, we want to take this serious, how did y'all come up with a plan to say, this is what we're selling, this is what we're targeting? How did y'all do it? Teach us.
We have a morph market store. And then we're doing local shows. We've done 2 so far. Just signed up for the Boynton Beach Repticon one day in February 18th. So I like the shows. We like the interaction, the one-on-one with the customer. And because Morph Market is sporadic, you'll have nothing, and then you'll have 5 or 6 people all of a sudden send you messages, and boom, 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 you sold 5 snakes. So it's good to have the balance of the shows and Morph Market to kind of do both, to help get your name out there, help meet people, and let them see what you have available.
Okay, so you said you primarily, your company primarily uses Morph Market and reptile shows.
Correct.
Okay.
We've done. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
We've had a few word of mouth local sales too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've definitely talking to people, and then they talk to someone, and then someone shows up at my door. So I think that's pretty cool.
I love that.
We've had an officer come over and buy a snake from us for a 4-year-old daughter because she's driving him crazy. And we didn't know this guy. He just had talked to one of our friends who we actually give a snake to, so it would have a home. It didn't fit in what we were doing. It landed in our lap. We give it to someone else, and she tells someone about us, and we sell a snake. So it was pretty cool.
Right. I love that. And I want to stay on that subject, but real quick, how does this make you feel? You're known in the community. Kara Shea, King's Reptiles has an awesome logo. I rock their shirt all the time. Like,
Thank
the
you very
community
much.
knows you. Do you see that?
I do see it. Thank you. We wanted to go, and it was actually Greg's idea when we were doing the logo design. We wanted to go with a kid-friendly logo because the whole purpose of us, really getting into it and getting Hunter involved was we didn't want him to be afraid, and that's one of the big things at the shows where the kids all want to hold a snake, or, even adults who are afraid want to hold a snake. And it helps them get over that fear. And if we can do that for them, then, when they're grown up and they can make their own decisions, they're going to buy a snake because they're not afraid anymore.
I love that. Now, we're talking about Morph Market. We're talking about where you concentrate your sales at. Now, I'm glad that you're here because I wanted to get this firsthand from a breeder that's just coming into the game. There's so many breeders out there that are selling at a high level. You got JKR, you got Ozzy, you got Boss to You. We know them all, we love them. But I mentioned them to ask you, do you feel like coming into the game that there's still money to be made, even though that you have to compete with the big dogs in the game?
I do, and it's a struggle. I've reached out to other breeders, and I'm like, how do you feel that you're not always behind? When you're using hets and you can't afford visuals, but the suggestion is to harp on customer service and to make a connection with that customer that maybe the big breeders can't make. And, that's all you can do, and work on the projects that interest you. If you're making stuff that makes you happy, that's why you're doing it.
I love that. So what you're saying is chase happiness, don't chase projects.
You can do a little bit of both, but you don't always, you don't always have to be the biggest and the best to be successful. You can have a smaller, size business and still be profitable and enjoy what you're doing and want to do it and want to continue and have the passion that makes you want to get up and clean snake cages or go get rats or do what you have to do or weigh the animals and update your pictures and just continue to do all the stuff that is required. But that the end result is you're making the customer happy and you're making yourself happy because you're producing great animals.
Y'all hear that? Just listen to this. Miss King is giving that knowledge. I better listen to this. I love it. Now, shout out to PCF Royals. They said King's Reptiles for the youth.
Yes.
I love that. Now, I just wanted, for shits and giggles, I want to have a little fun. Let's say that a couple hot seat questions. Let's say that you guys didn't have your own business and you needed to work, but there was only 3 jobs in the world. where are you working and why? There's JKR, Canova. There's Ozzy Boys, and then there's Boss to You. What facility are you going to work at and why? We love them all, but where are you going to work?
I don't, unfortunately, as much as I respect all three of them, I don't know that I could handle the cold of Canada or Toronto and the UK. So I'm going to have to go to Georgia and go with JKR.
Okay. You like Canova. Mr. Greg, same question. Where are you going? 3 jobs in the world. Where are you going to work at and why?
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to have to go to Georgia with her because I am not letting her get away.
Since we're talking about Canova, Justin, that's the king, and I've never been to his facility, but I always imagine, because this is the Holy Grail. You walk in, I've always imagined that he had guard dogs, snipers, electrified fence, full security guards. I think if you join one of his Patreons, I think the high tier, I think he flies you out every 4 or 5 months to where you can come visit the facility.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know, but I'm poor. I can't afford it.
No.
Where are y'all located at?
South Florida.
Actually, Tamarack.
It's Coral Springs, Fort Lauderdale area.
Ooh, let's talk about that. That just gave me a good topic. Florida. And anybody in this chat, anybody that sees this, support USARK. Now, my question to you is, living in Florida, every time I turn on the news, they are coming, Operation Viper, Operation this, Operation that. They are just coming at the reptile keepers in Florida. So my question to you is, if they keep buckling down on the rules in Florida, do you see yourself staying in Florida or do you see yourself moving?
We'll probably move. I think we at this point, I'm actually a Floridian. I was born here. Greg was born in Norfolk, Virginia. I think we both kind of have one foot out the door already. So if it came down to, you're going to lose everything you've worked so hard for, or you're going to move, we're going to move.
Yeah, because they're coming down on keepers down there. I know a few people that are, like I said, I talked to Chandler's Wildlife. I talked to Tyler Nolan, and they're coming down on them down there. But, of course, they keep venomous. So, anyways, without any kind of doubt, support USARK. They're fighting for our rights. So, anyways, I want to get back to the snakes. We know that you're producing amazing ball pythons. But I want to talk about the boas now. How awesome is that? What kind of boa is that? Talk about what kind of snake is this? That's a ball python.
Python.
Yeah, I can barely see it. Hold on, that's the ball. Anyways, let's talk about the boas. What are some of your projects with boa wise?
We have right now the projects that are ready for the boas are the sharp albinos.
Ooh.
We did buy, since that female is het anery, we did buy a moonglow male to breed with her down the line, to try to reproduce the clutch or the litter that we got. And then we're set up to try to make red dragons.
I want to see that. I'm gonna put you on solo because we want to see that. Okay.
This is one of her babies.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
So that's a sharp sunglow het anery.
And that is beautiful.
Yeah, she's a pretty girl.
She's really pretty.
Now, I want to ask, do you feel like, because like I said, you're producing amazing ball pythons and amazing boas. Do you feel like the boas may be a little easier to sell because the ball python market may be oversaturated? Or what's been easier for you to sell, you think?
The boas went quickly. Yes.
They did.
They did. It was a clutch of 12, and we have 2 left.
I tell you a story. And I love ball pythons. Don't get me wrong. I love ball pythons. What's up, Joe? I see Joe. What's in your backyard in the building? I tell you a story. This is a funny story. My favorite snake is the Amazon tree boa, right? And don't get me wrong. I love ball pythons. I have one. I have a pastel ball python in my collection. So I went to and I'm going to tell you, this has been my experience at every reptile expo around me, which makes me feel like I gotta venture out. I gotta go to the Tinley. I gotta go to the Repticons, because all the reptile expos around me, I'm gonna tell you my experience, and I kid you not. This is before I had my Amazon tree ball. I went into the expo and I'm like, oh, I'm coming to buy an Amazon tree ball. I went in and I kid you not, it was 957 ball pythons and maybe 2 king snakes. And I was pissed. I was like, so no, I said, so everybody's selling ball pythons.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was mad. So now, since we're talking about expos, you're a newer breeder. Do you have dreams of vending Tinley, vending Repticon, vending some of the bigger reptile expos?
If I could talk him into it, I'd love to do it, just for the networking and meeting people and talking to people. He's very good one-on-one with people. Once you get him in a room talking snakes, he'll talk to people for hours, but I just got to get him there.
Okay. I see that in y'all future, because like I said, y'all are an amazing husband and wife power couple doing incredible stuff. So I see good stuff for y'all. Now, when it comes to Brad Clark in the middle, what's up, Brad? I want to give you a hot seat question just to have a little fun. Now, when it comes to breeding, we get it. JKR, he'll tell you, I breed designer ball pythons. And he'll tell you, when you're shopping with him, you're shopping at Gucci. Ozzy will tell you, I'm a designer ball python maker. When you shop with me, you're shopping at Gucci. They are designer ball python makers, and they compare themselves to Gucci, Prada. So my question to you is, when I shop with King's Reptiles, what store best describes you? It could be any store in the world.
I know the answer. You should know the answer. Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's.
And I like that, because those stores got a little bit of something for everybody.
Exactly.
Well, my son's name is Hunter because I hunt. I'm going deer hunting this weekend. My whole family hunts. My wife shoots a bow. So I'm a little spread out. I have a bass boat sitting in my garage. I love to go fishing. So some of them weekends she wants me to do a reptile show. I'm like, I want to be on the water. Or I want to be in the woods.
I love it. Now, being a new breeder, and like I said, you already had your first season. Did you get the opportunity to cut eggs yet?
Yes. And it's like Christmas morning, just like people say it is. Yeah. It really is. It's the anticipation and the countdown to the 55, 57 days whenever you decide to cut. It's just it's so cool.
I think I let her cut one.
Yeah. And I'm trying to film, and I'm like, you're going too fast. You need to slow down. So now that we actually have a YouTube channel and I can post videos and stuff like that, we're going to try to get more stuff put up on it.
I love that. And what I like about you is, when I talk about egg cutting, when I talk about that first clutch, I see the excitement. You know what I mean? And I think that when you're coming into the game, you're breeding. If you're just doing it to make money, you're not going to be around long. But if you're doing it because you're legitimately excited about it, you're gonna be around forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time you have, I don't give a damn if this show 77th clutch. When those eggs pip, if you're not excited, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I can't even wait. I think we had one egg pip, and I'm like, okay, it's 55. Are we cutting? So.
Now,
give me anticipation of what's inside.
They just shared your YouTube channel. Thank you, Kara Shay. I appreciate that. Shout out to Kara Shay, man. Great supporter of the channel. Now, for shits and giggles, I'll do it with you, but I'm not a breeder. Eventually, I want to be, but I'm not a breeder. Let's do our pip face. So when we see those snakes pipping out the egg, like, let's act like we're walking up to the incubator, and on the count of 3, we see snakes pipping. Let's do our pip face. Okay, are y'all down?
Yep.
All right, count 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah.
I love it, man. You know what? This has been, you gave us an amazing hour. I want to say thank you guys for being here. I know this is your first podcast, but you guys are naturals. You should do a podcast of your own.
There you go.
So what's going on?
I'm nervous. I'd rather be behind the camera.
There's nothing wrong with that. You got to get in that camera so people know you. people need to be able to put a face to the name King's Reptiles. So I'm glad that you're here. While people that is watching this, that are going to watch this, make sure you hit up their Instagram, KingsReptiles2021. Make sure you hit up their YouTube, KingsReptiles2021. Being on Instagram, I'm curious, have y'all had scammers yet try to steal your ball python pictures?
No, I just get the constant, we'll design your logo. Or if you'd like to see my pictures, click my bio block.
I love it. So,
I'm the one doing all that, not him. So if you get a message from me or you message us, it's me answering.
Well, I want to tell you, I keep all my podcasts. Anybody will tell you I like to keep my podcast to an hour because that gives us room for a round 2 or round 3 to where in the future we can bring you guys back, see what you're doing, see what projects you're working on, see if you've had any new clutches. See, I love to keep that, like I said, to an hour so we can get those rounds in the future. Again, thank you so much for coming on and giving us an hour of your time. Kara Shea just shared her Instagram, so y'all hit that link.
Thank you.
You're watching this, hit that link. Go subscribe to their Instagram. Go subscribe to their YouTube. This was an amazing hour. I love it. A sponsor spotlight. Thank you so much for being here. You got anything you want to say before we end this?
I just want to thank you for having us.
Yes, and we do make shirts. That's our actual day job. So if anybody needs shirts made, hit us up. We'll give you great prices.
Excellent. Did you guys have a good time on the podcast?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that. It's something. It's always fun talking reptiles with genuine people.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Don't go nowhere. Before we leave, we're going backstage. I want to thank you again, but don't go nowhere. Okay, I want to thank you backstage. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Don't go anywhere. I'm putting you backstage. Well, you guys, this was another big reptile talk. This is my podcast where I bring keepers that are in the hobby. I chat with them. I don't care, big, small. I don't care. If you keep animals and you're genuine, I want to talk to you. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see what you got going on. We just had Ozzy on, and now we got freaking King's Reptiles. Like, I love it. I love it. They are a husband and wife. Amazing people making amazing animals. So make sure y'all go subscribe to their YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe to their Instagram and give them some love. Kara Shea, I appreciate you being here. Everybody, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the super chats. Again, it was so fun talking to them because they seem so genuine and down to earth. So I love that. So until next time, you know what we got to do. This podcast is brought to you by Mile High Mutations. Shout out to that, my brother Dan, man. He's producing amazing snakes. Make sure you go check out Morphed Ambitions. He produces amazing snakes and has some great mulch for sale. Make sure you check out Large March Morphs. Great guys, a great supporter of my channel. Hey, my brother Mike at MKL Exotics, amazing hognose producer out in Canada. He supports the channel. Hey, I support you, brother. Thank you so much. Franz Critters. I can't even say I gotta keep harping on this guy. Shout out to Franz Critters, man. Out of country and supports the podcast, man. Y'all go subscribe to his Instagram and check out his YouTube. Shout out to Mad River Service and Rattery. Just amazing snakes. Marino over at You Already Know Ball Pythons, man, just produces amazing snakes. When you're producing exotic snakes like that, you don't even need help. Like, he's killing it, man. Go give him some love. Shout out to Matt Yates Reptile Company, man. I love you, brother. He supports the channel, and he produces amazing snakes. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Ball and Hand Pythons, man. He's producing amazing stuff. And this is the reason that we're here, right here. King's Reptiles 2021. High quality boas and ball pythons. Give them some love. Check out their Instagram. Check out their YouTube. You know what? They support me and I support them. And last but not least, make sure you check out Michaela's Farms. Check out her YouTube. Check out her Instagram. She's just an amazing supporter of the channel. So she's an honorary sponsor. And we out of here.
Big reptile talk. Yeah, we working. Talk about service. Big reptile talk. When it comes to snakes, yeah.